Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and lovers of drones everywhere, welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm Ken Heron, and this is Ryan LaTourette. He is the legal eagle in your drone corner, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. Welcome to the show, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Now, I'm not going to make you talk that much because you've got the plague, the COVID-18. What do you got?
I am struggling with a cold. Everybody will notice my voice is a little raspy, and sorry about that.
I like it.
Try to make it through.
Kind of sexy, your voice. I hope it will freeze like that, yeah. We got Jeff Sills with the news. This is going to be kind of a short-ish show. I know I say that all the time, but I still am reeling from my little guy dying, my little doggy. I didn't think it was going to affect me like it did, but it really did. And when I was putting the show together tonight, you know, I grab people's videos and I edit them, and that's what I do. And when I did that, I thought, you know what? Just really quickly, I will see if I have a Henry video I can share with everybody, because maybe everybody that watches this didn't know about my dog Henry, who died at age 18 on May 8th. And once I did that, I went down this hole of sadness. You know, I had him 15 years, and you get into the routine. I mean, everybody knows what it's like to lose a dog. But having a dog for 15 years, man, that's integrated into your life. So I do have. Should we start this off with my Henry video, or? I mean, I don't want to bring everybody down.
And we talked earlier, and I had just lost a dog in November, and you know that dog. Anytime you came into the house, would bark, 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 and
yeah,
you know, and you hated it. And then
when
the dog was gone, boy, you wanted that back in the heartbeat, and it tears at you.
Yeah, and when Henry got older and he had to go outside every morning at 2 a.m. for some reason, I was like, oh, you son of a, you know. But now I miss that too. There was a giant Henry turd on my walkway. All right. And it was there for days, and it was there for a couple days after he died. And I remember sitting on the porch just looking at those turds, and the tears started. I'm like, that's one of his last turds. Is that crazy? That's crazy. Thank goodness the rain washed it away. Yeah, it's messed me up, the whole dog thing. It really has. So let's ramp it up. In case you don't know about my dog, here is Henry, and it starts recently and goes back to some of the oldest video I have of him. And enjoy this. My co-pilot's just being really cute right now. I mean, he's always cute, but he was particularly cute moments ago. Oh, there he is. No, I missed it again. There it is. He loves the car. Don't you, buddy? Don't you love the car ride? I think that's a yes. My Henry does the funniest thing. He just can't get any traction. I think my Henry likes his squeaky ball. Do you like your squeaky ball, Henry? Do you like it? Is that a smile? Yeah.
I think there's somebody missing from his spot. And that is because I think he found a new spot. Hi. What are you doing there? Bye-bye.
Where's my boy? Where's my Harry? Oh, hi, boy. Hi, Harry.
I figure I'll let Henry take over for a while. Watch the road, Henry. Not me, watch the road.
I miss that guy. I miss that guy so much. He was a little guy, but he was such a big part of my life. I thought I'd share that with you guys. And if you have,
great tribute video.
thank you. If you have pets, if you have a dog or cat or even a goldfish, take that goldfish out and you hug it. Let it know that you appreciate it. Speaking of animals, the immortal Pigeon Jerky is sponsoring this show.
You'll enjoy pigeon jerky, the Cadillac of processed meats. You'll enjoy pigeon jerky, and you'll give your family a treat. It's balanced nutrition to help them grow, and it's full of fiber to make them go.
Here we go.
You'll enjoy pigeon jerky,
the Cadillac of processed meats. Yeah!
Ooh.
Thank you, Pigeon Jerky, a fine quality snack since 1970. Yeah. So, Ryan, what's new with you other than your illness?
Other than hacking a lung.
Mm.
We have a whole lot going on. There's a number of different legal cases that have come up just in the past couple of weeks. And we are going to probably be announcing a huge one this next week. So stay tuned with that, and I will share that again on this coming program.
All right. Very good. Very good. So I want to thank a couple people for their super chats. And by the way, you probably noticed the microphone's in a different spot. So I hope it sounds not upside down, but I thought I'd try something different. Thank you, Drone Rob, as always. Thank you very much. Drone Rob, always here. He says, happy TNL. Philip Koshat with $10. Hey, Ken, I hope I can make it back to the house before showtime, but if not, here's a tenner for you. Thank you very much, Mr. Weather, for being a member for 36 months. That really helps the channel. Rob Muller from the Netherlands, €6. Thank you very much, sir. Happy TNL. Good to see you back, my friend. Force Multiplier. Multiplier. Oh, Force Multiplier. I get it. I get it now. You give me a New Zealand something or other. Thank you. Appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. And a super sticker. And another $10. Another New Zealand $10. Thank you. He says, hey, Ken, good to see you back. I love the Avata 2. It meant I got the Avata 1 for half price. Great little drone. I call her Miss Hump-a-Lot. Avata Hump-a-Lot. Hee hee. Avata Hump-a-Lot. That's good. Thank you very much. And Exiled FPV has been a member for 27 months. Feels like 27 years. And Dynadrone, $5. Thank you very much, Dynadrone. Appreciate that. Here's a little something for you, he says. El Smeghead has checked in. Working night, so I'll catch the replay. You bet. Junk Pick. He's been a member for 42 months. That is Sarah's father. And they usually hop in the Discord afterwards. So if there's any moderators that know my Discord link, it's in the description if you don't know what it is. But hey, happy TNL, he says. Newfoundland Drones, been a member for 37 months. Thank you very much. Trevor Fuss, thanks for hanging out. He's a member of the Pigeon Jerky Gang. Leonard Oglesby, as always, in the chat. Yellow Rose Drones. And he says, sorry about Henry. I appreciate that. And Ken Torbeck, another Discord regular with $5. I really do. Thank you for that. So yeah, I don't have a lot of the regular stuff. It's an abbreviated show, but one thing I do have is prizes. Let's go ahead and give $25 away right now. How about that? I've got a $25 gift certificate from Fly High FPV. FlyHighFPV.com. Check it out. You know those cool lights you see on my drone all the time? Fly High FPV sells. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste $25 into the chat. So, I apologize to the people who are watching the replay. Someone's already won it. Ryan, your thoughts, if any? He's got zero thoughts.
I think you're playing with fire, but
fire,
no, this is
fire.
great.
Okay, Ryan. I gotta call your name once in a while because sometimes it doesn't even look like you're breathing. All right. So here we go.
That might be the case today.
Okay. All right. I got the paddles on standby. So I'm putting this into the chat, and what you're gonna have to do is copy and paste it. Be the first to copy and paste it into flyhighfpv.com to use it. So it'll be a race. And I would say, even if you don't make it over there to use it fast enough, just check out what he has. Good guy, that dig. So here it is, coming at you in the chat. $25 in 3, 2. Off it goes. All right, good luck. That's $25. Good luck. Let me know.
Hurry.
Yeah, the chat just it just stopped.
Yeah, everybody's done.
Everybody's copy and pasting. So, but if you didn't make that, I do have. I'm going to be giving away $100 later on tonight from Camera Butter. Yes. So stick around for that. So just a few of the things that we're gonna touch on here is a lot of legislation, some rule breakers from the north, and even the Kentucky Derby. But right now, let's go ahead and get into the news.
Stop the music. It's time for news.
I thought we both froze. Heading into the drone newsosphere, it's Jeff Sills. What's going on, buddy?
Well, I have been going through news for quite a while, trying to find some positive stories, because boy, there's a lot of negative stuff out there. But
Yeah.
anyway, I got you guys a good smattering of things that I think will be informative and fun.
Okay.
So the first one is going to be DJI. It's been too long. It's been too long. I completely forgot. I don't, I live in a bubble. So yeah, because TNL News is brought to you by Camera Butter, ultra high quality ND filters, screen protectors, and FPV accessories. If you want no compromise performance from your camera, and you do, get some Camera Butter. CameraButter.com.
There you go. And like I said, I've got some gift certificates from Camera Butter to give away later. Two $50 codes that you can use coming up.
So see, you're not the only one that's rusty.
That's yeah, I am rusty. Yeah.
I was thinking he was bringing out the paddles for you on that one.
Yeah. No.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark, for that for $19.99. Appreciate it. In honor of Henry, he says. That is so nice. I appreciate that, Mark Weir.
Yeah,
Thank
he'll
you,
never
thank
let
you.
me live this down later. So anyway, so coming out of Washington, the U.S. government agency has their initiative to squeeze DJI drones from the domestic market, and the latest one is the Drones First Responder DFR Act. This was tabled last week by the same House of Representative members that were trying to get the pre-existing Counter CCP Drones Act passed.
Yeah, right.
Which also is on hold at this particular point in time. So their latest trick is that they want to slap a 30% tariff on drones from China. They want to increase the taxes on those 10% annually, and then ban imports of drones containing Chinese-made components by 2030. And obviously the first responders that this directly impacts, they're not happy with this. They have been pushing back against this quite a bit. And the real problem with this is the impact not only that it has on the first responders, but because these laws and this particular rulings also affect us as end users as well, it puts the drone industry sort of in peril, because the American drone industry needs DJI there to have something to challenge against. If DJI is out of the picture, there's not the same incentive for them to
Innovate.
up the ante on their drones.
Right. They're only going to make the drones as good as they have to.
As good as they have to.
And if
basically.
DJI is out, then they don't have to be that good, honestly.
And that's part of the argument that DJI has, in the response to the bill. One of the things that they mentioned was that, this would have that impact, that, imposing tariffs and stuff like that on them doesn't fix the problems that they're expecting to be able to fix with this, because the same money that they're getting from that, they shell out de facto subsidies to the domestic manufacturers to try to encourage them to be able to make better drones. The other flip side of this, and I'm looking at some of the things that they stated, to level the playing field and ensure security of all UAV users, the company urges Congress to call on experts to establish a clear list of technology-based performance standards that apply to all drone manufacturers, not just to them, and simply assume that product security on a country of origins basis. And they also mentioned that DJI refutes the underlying allegations that user data is leaked from its craft and points out that its drones can be configured to operate without transmitting information that they collect until hardwired directly to a user computer. It also offered resources for users to further enhance their security. And U.S. drones using similar communication tech would logically also be accused of representing the same data leaking risk that they are, because they're just as susceptible to getting hacked or whatever that DJI would be.
Everybody hears DJI ban. That's all all that stuff you just said. That's all very succinct and intelligent and necessary to hear. But the only thing that sticks is DJI ban. And I know Ryan can speak to this. Ryan, you have something to add about this, do you not?
Well, yeah. So, this is DJI saying, hey, let's level the playing field, right? So, hey, you want to push us out for particular reasons, then, hey, make those reasons for everybody. So everybody has to come up to the same standard, right? To make sure that your software is not downloading to another area server, right? They are not the only Chinese company. And then at the same token, they're getting hit with the tariffs. So you can have, Autel, the Chinese company. Yes, they've got a headquarters in the U.S., but they're a Chinese company.
They're trying,
and they're not going to be submitted to the
It's
tariffs.
a Chinese company wearing their United States costume, is what that is. Yeah, don't be fooled.
And this is also something that impacts the American drone ecosystem. I mean, this is a $116 billion economic activity. There are 450,000 American jobs that support the use of drones and use DJI products.
Hold on, Jeff. Hold on, Jeff. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You're saying important things, but RBRC said yawn. We are boring him, and in an effort to excite RBRC, this is for you, buddy. Hey, farts. Everybody loves farts. All right, I think we all agree that drones are good, DJI is cool, and the government sucks. So let's go to the next story.
All right. So next we have some interesting video. This is taken from researchers that are using drones to track the breathing patterns of killer whales off of British Columbia's coast. They use the drones as well as underwater biologging tags to track the breaths that the whales take between dives. This is to clear up some long-held assumptions that they only take one breath between the dives, and also forming a clear picture of the breathing rates used during different activities of these particular whales. And obviously the drone provides them a view that they would normally not have.
We didn't know this. We didn't know how whales breathed until now, until 2024.
Well, I think what the drone gives them is a better way of being able to track this over a longer period of time.
Okay.
Because if you're doing it by boat, you just have to wait till they come back to the surface, and they might come back over there. Or
yeah,
over
that's
there,
true. Yeah, good point.
So,
all right.
And so the drones obviously gives you a viewpoint that you wouldn't normally see.
Was there another yawn in there, Ken?
Was there? Whale?
Oh, I'm just asking.
No, fine.
No, we're good.
You know what?
We're good.
You know what? All right. No. I'm putting the smack down right now. If you're gonna yawn through the next story, then just to heck with it. All right. Here's the next one.
Yes. Make it. Hold on, Jeff. Make it exciting, buddy. Exciting.
This is an uncrewed American aerial vehicle that's going to the United States Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
Let battle commence. The hunt is on to find a medium-lift aerial drone to become a battlefield best friend of the U.S. Marine Corps. Known as the Marines Medium Autonomous Resupply Vehicle Expeditionary Logistics Program, or MARVEL for short, it's looking for a winning design by the summer of 2024. It's all about designing a drone that can resupply troops in even the most austere and extreme conditions. The computer-generated images you are seeing show one of the front runners. And here it is now, a fully functioning prototype. This is the cargo UAV, making its first flight in December 2023, but now undergoing hover and forward flight tests. It can carry a payload of up to 800 pounds, weighs around 1,500 pounds, and can be folded up to fit inside a 20-foot container with other equipment. It's powered by a Rolls-Royce RR300 turbine engine, driving 4 teetering two-bladed rotors via a mechanical transmission.
Holy hell, that was exciting. That is
A force multiplier for the military.
And 800 pounds, I think it can carry quite a few toddlers for you, Ken.
Yeah, I don't know how many toddlers you need to equal 800 pounds, but I mean,
I was fascinated by the fact that that thing is mechanical, that it is using an honest-to-God engine with gears, etc. It is not a battery-operated drone. That's amazing.
that is fantastic. Yes.
All right, so next in the news, this is out of Oak Island, which is located in, what is this? New North Carolina, I believe.
Yeah, sure. Let's say that.
Yeah, and they used a drone to save a swimmer.
Oh, that's cool.
Oak Island's fire department shared this on Facebook, showing how they used a drone to help save a swimmer in distress. The department says this happened Thursday after crews got a call about a swimmer who got tired near or under the pier. While Ocean Rescue prepared to head out, this drone was deployed, finding the swimmer in just seconds. You can see 2 auto-inflating rescue tubes were dropped from the drone, which the swimmer was able to hold on to before Ocean Rescue members got to them. Officials also want to remind you that swimming under or beside a pier is dangerous and prohibited.
Because it's more dangerous than it would appear.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Wow.
I'm being told.
Wow. Yeah, that's
No.
great.
I'm being told that was not funny. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, so next we have this one I thought was, I think, my favorite of all the stories this evening, because this Canadian teenager has come up with a unique way of using drones, rockets with wildfires.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Zhao is proving rockets aren't just for space. He's working on using them to detect wildfires.
So my project is focusing on solving the problem of wildfire detection, which is to have a rocket which launches a drone to a forest. The rocket will split apart, land, and you're left with a drone which would be used for wildfire monitoring. Currently, we use helicopters to detect wildfires, but helicopters are slow, so you must take off from very specialized airports, which are often very far away from a forest.
The goal to immediately monitor spreading flames, and speed is everything. His rocket can travel 6 miles in just 2 minutes, way faster than a helicopter.
One of firefighters' top priorities is speed, because if you don't get there fast enough, then it's going to be much harder to detect.
Now at just 17 years old, he's taken his passions to new heights.
I thought to myself if I could use my hobbies to solve this issue, and I had 2 amazing hobbies, both drones and rockets, and I decided to combine them together for this project.
That is awesome. And it's so awesome that it excuses the reporter for saying in a drone story and a rocket story that it's taking it to new heights, which they always do. They always
And
do.
the killer part of
Yes, Ryan?
I was going to say the killer part of this is that Congress already recognized this, right? So in the 2024 FAA Reauthorization Act, they literally have a section in here, Section 910, that says, hey, we want to provide a means to fly beyond visual line of sight as a part of wildlife or wildfire response issues. So
Okay.
they have already seen this. They want to capitalize it and make it available to use by first responders.
That is great. You know, I don't have a lot of experience with rocketry. I sent off a few of those, I think, when I was a kid. But does anybody know, like, what kind of clearance you need, what kind of thing you need from the FAA if you're going to send one into low Earth orbit like that? Do we know?
Yep. It's all in Part 101.
Okay.
So instead of it's the same set of regulations as for kites. Model rockets are in with kites as well, and it used to be recreational drones was in Part 101 as well.
Okay. So then when the drone's in the rocket, Part 101, and then as soon as, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And see, and now that this kid has done the proof of concept, and of course this is in Canada, where they have lots of fires. This would be a fantastic opportunity for some of the FPV crowd to come up with a new excuse to make their drones go farther and faster. And I can't wait, because right now that some guy just sat there and went, I can do that.
Yeah, I can hot glue a J-toe to my FPV quad.
Yep. Yeah. YouTube video in progress.
Okay.
All right. So next we have the congressional hearings. So get ready for your yawns.
Yeah. This is so boring.
This is congressional hearings for propelling drone integration for public safety.
Ugh.
Drones are utilized in emergency responses to establish situational awareness of various incidents. Drones can provide key data to our first responders, allowing for effective decision-making and assisting in public safety and saving lives. CBP officials have consistently raised concerns that Mexican narco-terrorist gangs are utilizing weaponized drones only a short distance from the U.S. southwest border to conduct nefarious activities. We must do everything we can to protect against these threats, and we must also do everything we can to protect against potential threats to U.S. critical infrastructure and other matters posed by drones that are manufactured in foreign adversarial countries like the People's Republic of China. In fact, DJI, a Shenzhen-based company, is a Chinese-based drone manufacturer that controls nearly the entire global drone market. While DJI has received the most attention from Congress, given the company's dominant market position, Autel, a drone technology company also headquartered in Shenzhen, has increased its footprint in the U.S. The extensive deployment of Chinese manufactured drones in the U.S. critical sectors is a national security concern, and it may increase the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive systems and data. Multiple U.S. federal departments and agencies have already warned against or banned the procurement of certain drones originating in the PRC in recognition of the threats they pose.
Wow. Did anybody else flash back to high school social studies?
The thing is that there are so many different agencies that have come back and said, we are not giving up our DJI drones. Yeah. Because it is a public safety requirement, and that no other drone provides the security, safety, and capabilities that a DJI drone does for the particular job that they need. Yes. And every single time that they do that, every single time they say, go kick rocks, I love it.
Yeah, I hung out with the Chattanooga Police Department's drone unit, and they're being very careful. They have like a, Matrice and all that, all the big ones. They're very careful because even if they break a prop, they can't replace the prop as things stand right now. Yeah. But that's changing, is it not, Ryan?
Little by little, yeah. There's a new bill that's being tossed before Congress to try to get that corrected. So we're going to have to see where it goes.
Where do you think it's going to go? Do you think it's going to happen? Your opinion.
Well, yeah, so let me kind of expand that bill is written by Elise Stefanik. Elise Stefanik is the main writer of the DJI ban bill for FCC signal. So here we have the person who wrote the legislation looking to ban DJI has now backed off and said, oh, we want to have an exemption from that ban for first responders. So it's kind of interesting that, she's changing her tune a bit. And that's why that DJI ban bill has stalled and why her bill for first responders is starting to stand up.
When you think about the practicality of all this on the ground, there's the law enforcement and first responders. Then you have all these bureaucrats who are just dealing with paper cuts and everything, and legislation and everything. But wouldn't you trade, send a little bit of info to China about whatever to save a life? because that's what's going to happen. Lives are going to be lost because if they have to trade for lesser capable equipment, that is what will happen.
Absolutely. You know, that's the thing is, if you had a thermal camera that could only do a tenth of a megapixel, right? Versus, oh, I can get a full megapixel thermal camera from China.
Yep.
As a first responder, which one are you going for?
Right. It's say an
evident,
Alzheimer's
right?
patient is lost in the snow. It's a matter of seconds to save
Absolutely.
them. Yeah. So it's a messed up thing. I hope it gets sorted out.
Once it affects somebody's wallet, it will.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
that's
it is
the way it works.
Yeah. It's the wallet,
Yeah.
not the lives. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. So next in the news, 2 students decided to go to a drone competition, and I don't think they expected the fact that they were going to break 2 world records.
At Charlottesville High School are world record holders after winning the aerial drone competition. The CHS Bacon Drone Club also took first and second place in the skills competition. Student drone pilots at the high school were able to beat out 60 teams from 13 states at the Northeast Drone Competition. It challenges students to fly a drone through obstacles.
Oh, can I really push through the pressure and do what I've been doing in practice? And at the end, I was able to do it. And I'm happy about that.
And a lot of the work I did beforehand went into making that really easy. So it's, again, a ton of payoff for the amount of work that went into it.
The club says it already has big plans in place for next year, so it can be even better.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I love seeing all this mainstream stuff with the drones.
Yeah, and two world records is also a lot of fun. You know, it's good to see them stepping it up. You know,
absolutely.
So
that is great.
All right. So next in the news, this one is a story that we have actually done twice because I did the original story, we did an update to the story, and now we have yet another interesting update to the story. This is in regards to the North Carolina drone operator who was using his drone to film land, right? And the city and the county around him were fighting against him, saying that they didn't want him doing it. They wanted to prohibit it. They tried all these different ways to finally, to try to stop him from doing it. And they finally, got to court, and it went up to a 3-judge panel in the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. And they have ruled that North Carolina can prohibit the creation of aerial maps by anyone other than licensed land surveyors. And this decision affects Michael Jones, the drone operator, because he's not a licensed land surveyor. He's an entrepreneur using his drone to film properties that, he can then give the information to the owners, for them to have information about zoning, etc. And I will turn it over to Mr. LaTourette because I'm sure that he can give us a better picture as to what the next steps are for this, because technically right now, from what I'm reading here, he lost.
He did lose. So, they did rule that he could take those pictures, but he could not call them maps, right? That he was not able to say that they were surveys. And they were holding back to say that a surveyor's license is an acceptable requirement by the state government, and that the state government could enforce that. And many people know that in order to do this, right, you need to, in most every state across the nation, you absolutely have to have a surveyor's license. This test was to try to correct that in the federal courts such that it could be broadcast to all states. They failed at the federal court level. They have 2 options. They could appeal at the federal court to continue on to try to get their First Amendment right decision to come through, which is going to be tough. Or they could go back to the state court and look at a different strategy in terms of trying to get that law off the books that you have to have a surveyor's license in order to perform a particular type of survey.
Is it all a matter of semantics? Can you just don't call it a survey and still sell the images? And
somewhat, right? So I think the challenge is, a lot of times you're going to see a real estate agent come through and say, hey, can you put lines on my MLS listing, right? Well, yeah, you can go into Photoshop and draw lines, but those are not survey lines, right? You could say these are ideal
Decorative
situations,
lines.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
or
could say,
whatever.
you know, these are kind of what it looks like, but to say that it's a survey grade, you would not be able to do so, even if it truly was survey grade, because
Right.
the drone can do that.
Can you just say this is an amateur's interpretation of whatever? I mean, listen to this, okay? Listen, it's always about semantics. Always. These shoes that I wear all the time. These are Chuck Taylors. Let me see if I can get one of these suckers up here. All right. You see on the bottom, these are, unfortunately, these are from China now. And when they ship these, they have fuzz on the bottom of the sole. They're supposed to be rubber, but they have them with fuzz. Do you know why? Because then they can call these shoes slippers, and it costs less to export them. That's douchey, but that's semantics.
I love it.
That's like, nope, they're not shoes. Clearly they're shoes, but they have fuzz on the bottom that wears off after you wear it for a day, and they call them slippers, and it's less of an import tax. So could it be that simple? Just change the language? Because I mean, there's people doing these mapping things.
Yeah, but this also directly impacts. I mean, we've done stories on companies that have innovative products that they use drones, and they actually do landscaping. They do the precise precision mapping of farm fields and you know, and locations where they're going to be putting up buildings, etc. And so the capability is there, the software is there, the tools are there for them to be able to use it as such, and it's going to be very hard for them to prove that, yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, at the same token, right, and this is the challenge for a surveyor's license, they could go out and get their surveyor's license, but then the surveyor's license qualifications say you have to use particular tools, you have to follow particular processes. Well, your drone is not in that list, and so the moment they start using the drone, well, you are not following your surveyor's license. This is not a valid survey.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And on it goes. All right.
All right. So as the final story, comes out of North Richland Hills, and of course it's Texas, because the only place that you're going to mix drones and pyrotechnics is in Texas.
The first ever pyro drone show in the country. North Richland Hills-based company Sky Elements flew 300 different drones, as you see in the pattern of a very cool-looking bald eagle. 12 of them were rigged with pyrotechnics, and they had fire tips just flying off the tips of the wings there. Very cool. The company is a 6-time Guinness World Records winning drone show, so they know a little something about what they're doing.
So if I remember correctly, the FAA says you cannot attach weapons to your drone, right? Ryan?
Well,
they say that, but there's no requirement. There's no regulation.
Right. Okay. Oh, they say that. So I can attach a tannerite to my drone?
Well, yeah, so if you recall, and this is what, 2015, 2014, there was a young man, Hogwarts, who added a flamethrower to his drone and also did a 9mm pistol to his drone.
Yeah.
And he flew them in his backyard.
Oh.
He roasted a turkey with the flamethrower. He shot the 9mm a couple of times. The FAA could not get him in trouble. They went after him. They tried to go to court and take him on several regulations.
Really?
His argument was, hey, I'm in my backyard. You don't have any jurisdiction here. And the court did not particularly rule on that, but one of the interesting pieces of the case was whether or not the FAA could subpoena him for some of that footage and information about the drones and et cetera. And the court ruled, yes, they could subpoena. And the FAA stopped at that. They're like, well, we got what we want, so that's it. But
well, why would the FAA mess with him? He's got a flamethrower and a gun.
And a father for a lawyer.
Right, and a father for a lawyer. Well, that helps too, yeah. Wow.
Well, and of course, now they have the robot dog that you can buy for like $9,000. It comes with a flamethrower
Yes.
on it. I want one.
Do you know I
Yes.
reached out to that company to get one?
I hope you did.
Yeah. Yeah. You know my buddy Ben that I was on the Route 66 trip with?
Yes.
He's an airline pilot.
Yep.
He has a flame.
He had a throw flame.
Yes, he has a
device, didn't
flamethrower. I stood on the tail of Bluey the whale or wherever there's, and I used it. I'm going to borrow that again in a couple months, and I'm going to. You remember that that VTOL that I had that was foam?
Oh,
It was just right. So I'm getting with a local fire department, and I'm gonna go with them on a training day. We're gonna put that up in their training parking lot, and I'm gonna bring it down with the flamethrower, and they're gonna put it out. It's gonna be a whole thing. It's gonna be great.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.
All right.
Well, Jeff,
All I got.
thank you so much. We appreciate your time, energy, and effervescence. Do you want to remind everybody about our sponsor?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let's say.
All right.
TNL News is brought to you by Camera Butter, ultra high quality ND filters, screen protectors, and FPV accessories. If you want no compromise performance from your camera, because you do.
Yes, you do.
Get you some Camera Butter. CameraButter.com.
That's right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
All right. And now is the time where our friend here will tell us a wonderful joke. Oh, here comes the joke. It's going to be so great.
Joke time. Well, I have to go with a legal joke, right?
All right.
Since I've got, all the legal stuff. So,
yeah.
What do lawyers wear to work?
I don't know. What do lawyers wear to work?
Oh, this is easy. Lawsuits.
Lawsuits.
Terrible joke.
That is terrible. And the only way that I can think to make up for that terrible joke is to give away $50. Let's give away $50 to some lucky person watching right now. And I'm going to put Camera Butter. Go to camerabutter.com. Let me see if I can bring this up because I did want to mention he's got a new product. There it is. He now has DJI Osmo Action 4 ND filters at camerabutter.com. Okay? And right now, I'm going to copy and paste $50 and put it into the chat. Do we know who, Ryan, do you have the chat open? Do we know who won the Fly High FPV
I
thing?
don't have the chat open.
Oh, you
I
should.
suspect somebody said
You should.
they did.
How are you going to interact with our audience?
That's a good question.
Yeah. All right. So here comes $50 from Camera Butter in 3, 2,
2.5.
Boom. There it is. There it is. All right. And I've got one more $50 gift certificate to camerabutter.com.
But he's going to town.
Coming up.
Chat
Yeah.
just completely stopped.
Yeah, it's like copy paste. So pick something out. And Camera Butter is a Canadian company, and we love Canada. Don't we love Canada?
We do.
Canada is the best.
They used to have the worst drone regulations in the world.
They did.
And then they corrected themselves.
Did they?
Now they have one of the best.
Did they correct them? Did they copy us or?
No.
Nope, they went out on their own.
We
No.
have one of the worst in the world.
Yeah,
now.
we do. Speaking of drone rules and stuff, we did want to talk very briefly about somebody in our drone community, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few people.
Yeah. Anyone? Bueller.
Anyone?
Yeah. The first one being from my hometown, Philadelphia.
What a fun one. And I think everybody kind of will know this one as soon as I say Mikey, right? Philadelphia Mikey. This was the guy that he ended up with a incredibly large FAA fine. I want to say it was $182,000.
Right. So what's the latest?
So he never paid the $182,000, which was a given. how many people have $182,000 just laying around? Oh, let's give it to the government. Yeah,
right. But I think that was just an initial amount. Didn't they whittle it down to something else, or?
No, that was the final.
Oh, that was it. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but they not only did they fine him, but they did other things to him, for him.
Well, yes. So what they did is they did fine him, and then he did not pay that. He continued along his same, use of the drone, where he would fly inside of Class B airspace with no authorization. He would fly at heights well above 400 feet outside of the radius of a building. He'd fly over traffic, over moving people, people moving traffic, just careless and reckless type of behavior. The FAA kind of gave him every opportunity in the world to correct those behaviors, and he didn't. And so they ended up looking for an injunction. Took him to court, asking the judge for an injunction to make it such that he would not be able to fly in the manner that he did, or he could face potential jail time even.
So is this this is the court papers?
That's the court decision. So when this came down, and it's kind of the interesting thing is right there at the end, it's a footnote. They went through all this case, and just the day before the decision, Philly Mikey decided that he was going to fly and make some comments about the case in question. And the judge in this case saw that video.
Oh dear! Oh my dear goodness!
Saw that it was in complete disagreement with the decisions that he had already put forward during the case. And so he wrote up to say, "Yep, let's find in favor of the FAA. We are going to place an injunction, or we're going to enjoin Philly Mikey from being able to fly drones ever again, placing him in civil contempt, and asking the government, asking the FAA to give a listing of all the drones that they wish to confiscate from him." So this decision came out at the end of April. FAA's had a couple weeks in order to give that detail in about the drones that he was flying. And so Philly Mikey's in a rather precarious position because he's now enjoined. If he were to fly again, he'd be in violation of the decision. It would be contempt of court, and he could go to jail for contempt of court.
So they ruled that he can't fly a drone again at all, or legally, or illegally, or
so they said that he would not be able to fly a drone at all.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Oh dear.
I had some conversations with a couple of different attorneys on this one, and that is going very, very far, right? To say, hey, we are going to limit you from ever doing something again.
Can they even do that? Can they do? Can they?
Yeah. So can they do that? That's the question. I think there's an opportunity that if he decided, hey, I'm going to try this another way, he could go get his Part 107. He could potentially,
hold on.
Fly.
He doesn't. He doesn't have a 107 now.
He does not.
Okay, all right. I was like, oh, he's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, I think if he were to go out and get his 107 and be able to, show that he's got responsibility towards drone flights, that maybe then he could petition the court and say they've gone too far in taking away my ability as a right to fly.
It's certainly a sign of frustration on the part of the government to do that. Very
Absolutely.
Frustrated because he's pretty much spitting in the face of like meh, So that's why they did that. But I don't agree. I don't agree that they should be able to do that.
Yeah,
reality is he should have the opportunity to continue to rack up the fines. That's what I'm saying.
The challenge here, and this is something for everybody to understand, right, is that when we see the fine come out, whether it's 500 or 1,000 or 180,000, right? That fine is a civil fine, so it's not a criminal court. When you're brought before the FAA for violating FAA regulations, right? That is a civil offense.
Right. So, can a civil court do that? I know a criminal court could probably,
Yeah, but
you
it's
get
not
these.
it's not a civil court, right? So when you get a fine that's coming to you, you are engaged with the FAA in negotiation on that final fine. So it doesn't go to a court of law. It doesn't see a judge, right? There's no jury. So throw all of that aside. It's just you and the FAA negotiating back and forth. Hopefully, you have an attorney with you to aid that process. And then if you still don't like what the FAA has proposed as a sanction against you, then you would appeal it. But your appeal goes to the NTSB Board of Administrative Judges. Now, the FAA and the NTSB, they're like cousins or brothers, right?
Yeah.
So when you're appealing, yeah, good luck, right? NTSB is not really going to go, hey, big bro, I'm going to knock you off a little bit and give this guy a pass.
But you've spoken with him, Mikey, personally, right? Haven't you?
Yep, I have.
Does he seem like a sympathetic character?
I think, when I spoke with him, he was very much defending of his position, that he had talked with FAA officials who've come knock on his door several times over. He believed very strongly that he was flying within the rules. And yet, if you go out and look at his videos, you go, nah, I can't see that. And I think even when he flew that day before, oh yeah, so you're picking up one of his flights here. You can see he's flying over a mile inside of Philadelphia, downtown Philadelphia. He's flying over a mile. There's certainly no way he's seeing that. That's with I think that was with the Mavic Mini, wasn't it?
I don't
probably
know.
says on the top there.
Oh.
It was either the Mavic 3 or the Mavic Mini, but yeah, so over a mile inside of the city, Class B airspace, no airspace authorization. You're well beyond visual line of sight. You don't have airspace authorization. You aren't 107. There's so many things.
Does he have his trust certificate?
I don't know that. I would suspect so.
Okay. Wow. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, he's in the drone community,
Yeah.
And
honestly, no one's gotten hurt. Right?
No, nobody's got hurt. No.
It's kind of hard to really throw a hammer down and say, dude, you can never fly again because you broke some rules that.
But he seems.
Really, did they matter? I don't know.
Seems like the kind of guy that, and I don't know him, haven't spoken to him personally, but he just seems like the type of person who, if you tell him not to do something, he's going to want to do it even more.
Yeah, and he was a guy that he would go onto the FAA or onto this YouTube and talk about the FAA going against him, and he literally said, "F the FAA," right? On his YouTube live streams.
Oh yeah.
So he knew what he was doing.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting thing, and we'll put a pin in it for now because no doubt there'll be more to learn later. But just if there's any, I know we probably have some new pilots watching. Just be a good ambassador for the hobby. Don't draw undue attention to yourself for these kind of things. I've been contacted by the FAA for certain flights, and they ask you this: "Hey, you have your 107? Did you do this?" And you just say, "No." "Yeah, I had a visual observer." "Okay." They're like, "Okay."
Yep.
Bye. Yeah. No, initially it was about 1 week before, 2016, before 107 came out, August of 2016. It was 1 week before, was it December or what was it, August 20th?
August 29th.
29th, yeah. So it was about 10 days before that. I had, as everyone was doing back in the Wild West, I was flying my drone fast and high and how high and anywhere that I wanted and over people's heads and all this. I flew it as high as it would go, and an FAA person came to see me in person. In person.
Nice.
I'm in a little town. We had lunch down at the local cafe here. He had catfish, and I checked. He wasn't carrying a gun, but he was very nice. He said, "Hey, we got this new thing, it's Part 107," and I just worked my ass off to get that. What is it? The 3.3 something? What was it?
333 exemption.
The 333 exemption. It took me forever, right? And I was like, done. What? That doesn't matter anymore? That's out? Oh God. Okay. So, yeah. But you live, you learn. You live, you fly, you learn. Hopefully. But
absolutely.
There's other stuff that we need to talk about. Did we touch on the FAA reauthorization bill at all? Did we?
Just barely, but yeah. So I want to really get into this one a little bit because there's some very interesting, sexy things in here.
Sexy. Oh,
Sexy.
Yes. Tell me
So
about
the
it.
FAA Reauthorization Act did pass.
Okay.
It has been signed into law, and this all happened last week. So we are, moving in the right direction. One of the key elements in here, there was a piece on beyond visual line of sight, right? So BV loss. And what they have put forward to the FAA are some requirements. I want to read this one, right? Because this is pretty key if I can find it here.
All right.
Proposed rule, not later than 4 months after the date of enactment of this act, the administrator shall issue a notice of proposed rulemaking establishing a performance-based regulatory pathway for unmanned aircraft systems to operate beyond visual line of sight. So that's saying we're going to have an NPRM in the next 4 months that will go through that NPRM process. You're probably talking 2025. We're going to see beyond visual line of sight.
Oh,
How
hot
cool
damn.
is that?
That is very cool. Now, is that going to be, that's at the behest of companies and corporations, obviously, and then it'll trickle down to us, right?
Well, yeah, when they come out with that proposed rule, right, we as a public will have an opportunity to comment. So we're obviously going to have to see what's in that rule. I think they're going to go a little bit conservative and say, hey, it can only be for drones in category 1 or 2 or what have you. But our comments as a community can say, this needs to be expanded out, or this provision of this rule doesn't make sense, change it. And the FAA is amenable to that. They've shown that before. So
this is,
get ready, get the pencils ready on beyond visual line of sight.
But this will be another amount of training. This will be like Part 108, right?
No, so this would still go into Part 107. This would just ease the restrictions on visual line of sight.
Oh.
So it'd be a lot like your flight over people, right? So previously you weren't able to fly over people. Now you can with certain restrictions. We're going to see the same thing happen for beyond visual line of sight.
Okay.
How sexy is that?
That is pretty sexy. You know, it would be even sexier than that. What's that? I can't remember the name of it. I've been up since 4 a.m. Not covered operations. What is it where you can't fly higher than for FPV pilot?
You're saying covered operations under the...
Yeah, you know what I mean? I can't...
Under the tree line.
Under the tree line. What's it called? It's not covered operations.
It's not covered operations.
I
know what you're saying.
Yeah. But that's what I want as an FPV pilot.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So can we get that too? While they're in a giving mood?
You could probably ask for it.
Okay. All right.
Now, the other piece that's sexy in here that is, I won't say it's great sexy. This is kind of a naughty sexy.
Shielded operation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Shielded operations.
Shielded operations. There
yes.
you go.
Okay. All right.
The other one is remote ID, right? So we have remote ID in place. It's been in place for quite some time now. In the Reauthorization Act, they put in more language. You recall that when they put remote ID as live, they removed a portion that said you had to connect through a network-based system.
Yeah.
Right. So it used to be their proposed rule was you were going to have your phone. It was going to connect to the internet. Everything would connect to the internet. And they pulled that back after all the NPRM comments said, hey, wait a minute. I'm in Alaska. You aren't getting connectivity up here.
Right.
I'm in northern Michigan and no
Right.
connectivity. Well, Congress has not given up on this idea. So they literally wrote in Section 907, hey, we want you to continue to keep an eye on this, and you need to give us, Congress, a report within 1 year of this passing to let us know how we're moving forward towards network-based connectivity. So we had a big celebration when they put it off the table, over a year ago. Now they still got their eye on that ball.
Nah.
So we have to be very careful with it.
Nah.
Yeah. And probably the last one is in terms of flying under the recreational rules 44809, they are expanding that to high schools and elementary schools as well, K through 12. So previously it was limited to higher education, so colleges. Now they're expanding that out, so you will not need to have a Part 107 to fly at a high school, at a elementary school, where you are learning about.
Oh, okay, for the students, not for creepers that want to fly around schools.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be for the students.
Right, the students.
Normally, it would be the professors at the college level.
Of course.
Students, but yeah, if you are pursuing some type of degree, right?
Yeah.
Then the professor did not have to have a Part 107 to teach that to you. Now that it's expanded down to the elementary and high school levels.
Oh, well, that's good. That'll encourage more programs in those places.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, so that's exciting stuff. And one more thing, maybe we can talk about something happened at the Kentucky Derby, did it not?
Yeah.
What
You
happened?
even had the sound effects. Woo!
I've got everything, man.
So, and this one hit hard. I got a call from a friend of mine who he had just completed a flight and got rolled up on by the FBI, state police, and had his drone confiscated, had information taken down. He ended up having to get an attorney, all because he was flying on the same day as the Kentucky Derby was taking place, right?
Yeah.
But he was flying a couple of miles away for a Part 107 job, completely unrelated to the Derby whatsoever. And the challenge is, he had flown there probably 100 times before. So it wasn't such that he looked up, hey, do I need to do anything for this? He had a couple days prior to the flight had made his airspace request, gotten that approval. So he had kind of done all that in terms of his due diligence, thinking he was good. But when the Kentucky Derby hit,
TFR
that TFR comes out.
Okay.
Now he's in violation of the TFR.
So the TFR appeared over him.
Appeared over his operations. Yes.
So he was in the air when that happened?
No, so it had come on that day, but he was not aware of it because he did not check for TFR on that day.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the key that we all have to, even if you've flown the place 100,000 times, something can change.
Yeah, there's
so
an app where you can check your NOTAMs. You can check that. And I think there's a
TFR list.
One where you can get an alert. There's got to be an app that'll tell you if you're in one that just appears. So did he get his stuff back? What happened? What happened with that?
Well, so he's going to be in process with that. The attorney is a great attorney. I think he's going to do very well, but we're going to have to see where this goes. I think another good thing that comes out of this is in the FMRA for 2024, the Reauthorization Act that just passed. They also have a Section 935 that is requiring 30 days advance notice for any requester to create a TFR. So, and then public notification of that TFR at least 2 days in advance. So that this could help with that situation where yesterday I got my authorization for airspace, and today I'm going to fly. I would have been able to catch, hey, there's a TFR. I'm not going to fly that day. I'm going to hold off.
Right.
But yeah,
that can catch you
that's
out
the
because
challenge.
you can be somewhere and the president's in town that day. You didn't know it or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
bad. I forgot to mention to everybody that if you have a question for Ryan, he's in your corner, but he's not reading the chat for some reason. So let
I'm
me
not
know.
reading the chat.
Let me know if you have a question for him, and I'll convey that. Or you can go down in the description and email him yourself. He loves hearing about people's drone problems.
I try to correct a bunch of them.
He does. I
can tell you, we had a situation up here in Holland, Michigan. They have a tulip festival. Holland tulips, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had a tulip festival. The tulip festival organizers put out signs, no drone zones, right? And they put out rules on their websites. You can't fly drones here. We reached out to the organizations that was putting that on. We said, state law prevents you from doing this. You do have to allow drones. And their city administrator gave me a call. We talked through what would be appropriate language. He said, send me that. I did. And boom, the websites were reflected. The no drone zones sign came down. And it was just a fantastic turnaround. And I'm glad I can make that happen. That's what I want to do for this community.
And it was language that was kind of a compromise between the city and the drone flyers. Like they were happy with it for them, or were you like, no, you can't do that, and you suck?
I said, no, you can't do that. Here's language that you can use that is going to help you scare off the people who are rogue operators, right? So we basically said you need to fly with Part 107 or 44809, right? So if you're just the local yokel and you don't know the rules and you saw that, you go, oh, I need to get up to speed before I fly, or I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, they're talking about you in the chat, by the way. You can't see it.
I can't see it.
They're talking about you.
I can see it over your head just a little bit.
Yeah, you see it? You see that guy? You see what that guy said? They're very nice. They're very kind. They're glad that you're in everybody's corner fighting, because a lot of times I'll get emails from someone that says, hey, Ken, what about this? And this happened to me, and I got chased or whatever. And I say, well, you could talk to Ryan. And they're like, already did. I don't know.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
I appreciate those calls.
Yes.
I really do.
And Ryan is independently wealthy. He doesn't need your donations. He does this. He just money out of hand for him. He's a philanthropist. No, he absolutely will take your donations to help. How can people do that?
Yeah, so I can tell you we have a legal defense fund, and we are in the need of donations, especially because we have a very big case that's coming up that will impact the nation. So I encourage you to go out. We have it's not a GoFundMe, it's a free funder. And if you search my name, search free funder, you'll find me. Or Ken, you probably have a link to my donation site. We're collecting donations for that legal defense fund. And it's going to help us continue to make a huge impact towards the drone community. So I appreciate everybody who helps out with that.
Yes, and there's a link in the description as well for that. I'm going to give away another $50 from Camera Butter here in just a minute. But first, I have to talk about my good friends at... Where do you think I would have good friends?
Good friends.
A good friend with a smile that's visible for 3 statute miles. His name is Jason Chappert, and he's from RemotePilot101.com. If you want to get your Part 107, maybe you live in Philadelphia and you need one, you can go to RemotePilot101.com. Use Heron 18 to get 30% off. Maybe you got some money troubles. You need that 30% off. Go and get your Part 107. It comes with a card. It's got a hologram on it. It's a pop-up scratch and sniff. It's a really cool government card. And yes, just this last month, I used it to get a discount in a hotel. You just say, hey, do you give government discounts? You show them your government Part 107 card, and they don't ask any questions. They should, but they don't. I know, yeah. So he will teach you, Jason Chappert, He is a pilot, an author, and he's got a great class that makes it easy to learn all of these stuff, all the sectional charts and the METARs and the dip-de-doos. Maybe you think, oh man, it's been a long time since I was in high school and had to learn anything like that. He makes it easy. And then once you're on there for life. You just pay the one time, and then you can go back and study up for your Recurrent, which is free, and you can do it online, but it doesn't hurt to keep up to date as a pilot. As things change, the curriculum is updated. Jason Shappert, one hell of a guy. 2 watches, shiny smile, and skin like porcelain. He's great.
Good guy.
RemotePilot101.com. Heron 18 gets you 30% off. And now, a joke from Ryan.
A joke?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is not really a joke, but it's a life lesson, right?
Yeah.
So, and Ken, I know you live this one every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You are only young once, but you can be immature for a lifetime.
Say again?
But you're only young once, but you can be immature for a lifetime.
That is sage advice. Thank you, sir.
There you go.
That is very, very good advice. Yeah.
I live that all the time.
Me too. Yeah. And now it's time to win fabulous prizes that you can find at camerabutter.com. Camerabutter.com. I'm going to give away another $50 coupon code. And I'm going to copy and paste it and put it into the chat right now. Who won last
Chat
time?
just completely died. They're all waiting.
Yeah,
right now.
It was going like this.
I'm not waiting.
Yeah. Who won last time? Anybody? I'll see it later. I do go back and watch the show. All right. So here we go. From camerabutter.com. Here comes $50. There you go. All right. And they're off. Oh, the cutting and the pasting that's going on. You know what I did
That's a
once?
fabulous way to do it.
Yeah, you know, I figured it was nicer to do it that way, because you know what I did another time? I had like a group of 5 numbers like that, and only one was good. The others were decoys.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's kind of a dick move. But the object is to get people to go to camerabutter.com. And please, when you do, if you buy something, because there's awesome stuff there, tell them Ken sent you. All right. So I guess that's about it. What am I forgetting here? There's nothing else that I'm forgetting. It's kind of a short show. Oh yeah. Let's head into the Raz Chamber. Yes. It's a wonderful place. It's been a while now. I haven't done a stream in a while, but I did Raz every night. Here we are, sitting with our feet in the warm purple and blue goo with the little orbs floating around. It feels so good, doesn't it? It'll
take it.
It'll cure what ails you.
effervescence.
It's better than a Vicks Vapo Rub, Ryan. It's gonna make you feel better. So sit back and enjoy. There are no rules, merely one suggestion. And what suggestion is that? What is it? Do you know the rule?
I think I do.
What is it? What is it?
No farting in the Raz.
Please refrain from farting in the Raz. Now enjoy. Oh, come on! Droney Baloney! What the hell? You got a great name, but Droney Baloney farted in the Raz right after we told him not to. Right afterwards. What the hell's wrong with you, buddy?
Man.
Thank you for participating.
You almost got all the way through.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to strain the corn out of there. As the train goes by my house, if there's any new people in here watching, I really do appreciate it. Thank you everybody for the super chats. I couldn't do the show or the channel without it. I've got a video coming out tomorrow where I throw a drone off of an abandoned building and arm it before it hits the ground. Hopefully, maybe. Did it work? Did I smash my drone? You just have to wait and see. This Saturday, I am going to be flying the Avata 2 inside a Lowe's hardware store.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? It's going to be fun. So I'll share that next week.
The rest video at 11 tomorrow night.
No. No. It's the Avata 2 is an amazing drone. I'm so impressed with it. If you've been on the fence and you have a one, or if you don't have one at all, been thinking about it, I can't recommend it enough. It is a great drone. What else did I want to say? Just thank you everybody for being patient with me as I continue to mourn my little dog Henry. It comes and goes. I try to stay busy and not think about him, but he'll always be in my heart. So hug your pets tonight tightly. As I guess that's it. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Ryan, before we go?
Just continue to be an ambassador for this sport, hobby, and the industry. You make a difference, and it spills over to the next person.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And thank you, Dynadrone, for the last minute $5 super chat. Says, see you next time. Off to fire drill. See you. Yes, Dynadrone is a fire person. Fireman? Are we saying fireman? What are we saying? Firefighter. Firefighter. Thank you for your service. Appreciate that. And I will be doing Discord. Moderators, please put my Discord link in there. As tired as I am, I get up at 4 a.m. to do a radio show. We're on in 4 cities now, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah, man, uptown. So I will be in Discord for a few minutes after this, and I guess that is just about it.
We hope you enjoyed the show half as much as you would have if it had been twice as good.
Again, huge thanks to everybody who has been patient for this stream to come back. I'll be resuming the regular schedule of doing it every other week. And thank you, Jeff Sills, very much for your news as always. Everybody who has been watching, all of the people in the future that will watch the replay but couldn't win any of the prizes because they didn't do it live. Thank you very much, Ryan, for being in our corner and always being the go-to guy to help get things started and giving advice when people are in trouble.
And thank you for having me on to do that.
Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye, yay.
enjoy pigeon jerky. Pigeon jerky, the killer can process meat. Enjoy pigeon jerky. Pigeon jerky, and you give your family a treat. It's balanced nutrition to help them grow, and it's full of fiber to make them grow. You'll enjoy pigeon jerky. Pigeon jerky, a killer can process meat. Yeah. That was so funny.
You'll enjoy Thursday Night Live with Ken Heron and Kelly Jeff and Bo Sharp too. There'll be fun and quizzes. Kelly's misses. The bird is the word in the news. It's the #1 live stream. It's got pizzazz. There's only one rule: don't fart in the rats. If you think it's funny, super chat some money, 'cause TNL is here for you. Yeah.